Early on, Patrick Ewing didn't have the answer, missing his first 8 shots. But a funny thing happened. Ewing began hitting his shots, and the jeers turned to cheers, and he was smiling by the time it was over. The Knicks also felt the power of 2 of their best players. Buck Williams was outstanding with 10 points and 15 rebounds, and Charles Oakley was solid as an oak, coming back from 7 stitches to provide the spark and hustle needed for a 12-point win. Tonight's opponent is Golden State, a team the Knicks defeated once already this season. Coming up, the Knicks look to make it 5 wins in a row as the homestand continues at the Garden. It's their golden anniversary, and MSG presents New York Knicks basketball tonight from the world's most famous arena. The Knicks and the Golden State Warriors wrap up their season series. In the Atlantic Division, the Knicks have won 4 in a row, but they're still trailing Miami, 13 up and 6 down. In the Pacific Division, the Warriors wish they had a record like that. But even with a mark of 8 and 13, if the season ended today, they would amazingly make the playoffs. Good evening, everybody. I'm Al Troutwick. Welcome to our coverage of the Knicks and to here at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks in the middle of the longest homestand of the season. They've won the first 2 games. Tonight, as they take on the Warriors and look ahead to Saturday against the Nuggets, they might be thinking of getting ready for Tuesday and Wednesday when they play the Utah Jazz and the Detroit Pistons, 2 teams with best records in the Eastern Conference. So this is a bit of a prep game. They might consider it that, one they want to win and continue their winning streak. For more on tonight's game, let's go to Marv Albert with the legend himself, Mr. John Hoops.
All right, thank you very much, Al. Well captured, as always. And, John, looking back at Tuesday night's Knicks win over the Washington Bullets, although not a game that will go down in the NBA archives, it was a game that was turned around by a guy who did it in a way that will not show up in the box score. Once again, Charles Oakley able to ignite his ball club with his usual fire and hustle.
Yes, Charles was there throughout the game, and the opposition felt him at work. Larry Johnson said the other day, he makes you want to go after everything the way he plays. Charles went to the locker room to get 7 stitches after the first quarter, and then he kept going. He started the third quarter, came out and resumed action. As usual, he was all over the floor, so much so he created a mess for Mike Saunders. Mike had to get on his knees and clean up after him, but Charles kept going, and if there was a loose ball, he was there on the floor. And Charles really inspired his teammates in a lackluster game to a much better effort. For the game, it was 8 points and 10 rebounds, and as you'll note, Marv, 1 more basket and 3 stitches. Charles would have had a triple-double.
Now that is funny.
And unique.
As Al mentioned, Golden State comes in at 8 and 13. They have won their last 2 games, and they have been sparked as of late by the all-around play of second-year man Joe Smith, who has really come on. In fact, comes off a career game Tuesday night against the Toronto Raptors.
Joe Smith is playing big, and one of his areas of focus is to stay more around the basket instead of shooting jump shots, which he was doing earlier in the season. And when he is around the basket, his mobility and size makes him very, very tough, as the Knicks and Toronto found out. Toronto had to face him the other night, and he was all over the place. He's so quick to the basketball. On that play, he got fouled also for a 3-point play, and it was a 36-point effort, a season career high against Toronto. Shot the ball well, also added 17 big rebounds. And the Knicks felt Joe Smith on November 7th with 26 points. Joe was playing with a very sore ankle, and he was still tough.
All right, so it's the Knicks and the Golden State Warriors just ahead. And when we come back, once again, it will be interesting to see how the fans react to Patrick Ewing. Welcome back to Madison Square Garden. We're getting ready for the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks. Closed captioning is brought to you by Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the best of health. And now we're set for the introduction of the starting lineups.
The head coach of the Warriors is Rick Edelman. The assistant coaches John Wetzel, George Irvin, and Rod Higgins. The trainer is Tom Abdenor. Here's the Warriors starting lineup. At guard, at 6'5" from Alabama, number 15, Latrell Sprewell. At guard, at 6 feet from Georgia Tech, number 25, Mark Price. At forward, at 6'7" from St. John's, number 17, Chris Mullen. At forward, at 6'10" from Maryland, number 32, Joe Smith. And at center, at 7 feet from Louisville, number 50, Felton Spencer. Coaches for your New York Knicks are Chip Van Gundy, Don Shady, Brendan Malone, Tom Thibodeau, and Jeff Knicks. The trainers are Mike Saunders, Tim Walsh, and Greg Britnell. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard, at 6'3" from Boise State, number 1, Chris Childs. At guard, at 6'6" from Tennessee, number 20, Allen Houston. At forward, at 6'7" from UNLV, number 2, Larry Johnson. At forward, at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, Tri-Captain Charles Oakley. And at center, at 7 feet from Georgetown, number 33, Tri-Captain Patrick Ewing.
Well, I'd have to say, John, kind of mixed reaction. More cheers tonight for Patrick Ewing, who heard the boos after ripping the fans following the Saturday night game, and heard the boos from the crowd Tuesday when he was introduced prior to the start of the game against the Bullets, and heard the boos right through the first quarter as he struggled, had the misfortune of missing his first 8 shots from the field, and then hit 4 in a row.
Yes, the issue doesn't seem to be as hot with the fans here tonight.
The officials, Ed T. Rush, Ted Bernhardt, and Jim Kinsey. The Knicks have won 4 straight, 5 of their last 6. A 4-game win streak for the first time this season. While Chris Mullen and the Golden State Warriors with the 2 straight wins over San Antonio and Toronto. They had dropped the previous 2 in their last game Tuesday at the Sky Dome in Toronto. Beat the Raptors by 10 points as they out-rebounded Toronto by 19. And as you mentioned earlier, Joe Smith with a career-high 36 points, a season-high 17 rebounds.
This Warriors team loves to run. Now, one of the dubious problems or results of that is sometimes you give up points. Right now, they're allowing more points than any other team in the NBA, over 102 a game.
And you can see the Knicks and the Warriors wearing the older uniforms, the so-called throwback look. Ted Bernhardt getting set to toss it between Patrick Ewing and Felton Spencer. And controlled by the Warriors, Mark Price. This is the second and final meeting of the season between these 2 clubs. The Knicks won back on November the 7th out on the West Coast. And on the double team, Sprewell had it knocked away. It will be Golden State in possession with 8 on the shot clock. Mullen. And this is Smith. Loose ball foul, a push called on Spencer.
Spencer gets into foul trouble on a regular basis. That's why he does not play that many minutes for the Golden State Warriors. Playing actually under 20 minutes a game on the average since he came over here.
Began the season with Orlando and was traded to Golden State in the deal involving Ron Cycley. Good ball movement by the Knicks. Houston. And Smith with the rebound.
Houston shot much better the other day, 6 of 12 from the field against Washington.
Latrell Sprewell, who is off to a very good start, and he's given the Warriors a 2-0 lead. Sprewell putting up all-star numbers, averaging 24 a game. Well, Larry Johnson has tied the game at 2. Sprewell, 5th in scoring in the NBA and playing lots of minutes. He is 2nd of that department, averaging just under 42 minutes per game.
Chris Childs exposed the Golden State transition defense by pushing that ball up to Larry Johnson.
And a nice move by Sprewell. Price able to break it up. Warriors with a 4-2 lead, just getting started here at the Garden. And here's Houston. Well, he went glass. I don't know if that was the intent. Allen Houston from downtown. Knicks 5, Warriors 4. Oakley picked up on the switch by Mullen. And a good play by Spencer to break it up. Got a hand on it.
A little clear out for Charles Oakley to go a one-on-one, and he executed a pretty nice move.
In the earlier meeting against Golden State, Chris Mullen opened up with several steals, finished with 4 for the game. Childs able to split through. Mullen did not shoot well at the start, but then came on and had 16 points. Here's Mullen. And it's Golden State by 1.
Chris Mullen, of course, people in this area familiar with him and his ability to move without the basketball. Chris matched up with Charles Oakley now. That's a tough matchup for him.
Houston. And Oakley. Charles missing the putback, but Johnson able to hustle it down. Oakley with the step. And the Knicks with another possession. Joe Smith guarding Patrick Ewing. Houston for 3. And right at the start, we are seeing an effort on the part of the Knicks to move the basketball.
Which is exactly what didn't take place the other night against Washington, and it's setting a nice tone of unselfishness, therefore getting better shots.
Knicks have an 8-6 lead. Ewing sets the pick. A lot of touches on the offensive sequence by the Knicks. And Chris Mullen ball hawking, able to knock it out of bounds. The Knicks have 4 on the shot clock.
The pesky Chris Mullen with his terrific hands.
Down to 2. Down to 1. The steal by Mullen. And it is a 24-second violation. Something wrong with that type of rule, though, John, when a team comes up with a steal and is about to break, and it's nullified despite the good play.
Yes, it's something for the rules committee certainly to consider. A play like this with Mullen slapping the ball away, and after that good work, they get shut down because of the 24-second clock expiring.
I would appreciate you handling that in the morning. I know you'll be filing a memo as Joe Smith is able to hit on his first field goal.
Yes, I will, Mark.
It'll be, I guess, CC Rod Thorne. I know you go right to the commissioner on that one.
Absolutely.
Game is tied at 8. Johnson.
I won't stop there either. I'll cover Matt Winnick as well.
Excellent idea. Mullen tried to go baseline against Johnson, but could not. Now Sprewell does, and is fouled. Cut off by Houston. It is a non-shooting foul. The earlier meeting against the Warriors played in San Jose. They are playing their home games in San Jose. Mark Price rebounded by Charles Oakley. Warriors get back. Larry Johnson tried to give it to Patrick Ewing, and he was tied up. So they will jump it up.
Ewing, sensing the one-on-one situation in his favor, ran real hard, but was tied up by his former adversary, who he was joshing around with before the game, Chris Mullin.
Yes, many games between the two when Ewing was at Georgetown, Mullin at St. John's. So the Knicks control the tip. Game tied at 8. 5 minutes in. Nice give and go. Ewing could not finish it off. And immediately here's the boos. And that's unfair.
Well, it's getting silly now.
Here's Felton Spencer. And Ewing with the rebound. Oakley with the touch pass to Johnson. It's the Knicks 10 and the Warriors 8.
Well, the Knicks are doing a better job of rushing the ball up court than the Warriors, who like to play like that on a steady basis. But it all comes down to rebounding. If you rebound the ball, you can do things like that. That was Sprewell with a nice touch.
Latrell Sprewell from downtown. It's Golden State by 1. Here's Childs dishing it back out. Johnson for 3. And back comes Sprewell. And he fires for 3. Mullin with the steal, but recaptured. And a timeout taken by the Knicks. Just under 6 minutes left in the first quarter.
Here's a good look at the Marriott Marquis Sky Cam. Ewing rebounding the basketball. 4 Knicks now participate in this fast break. Childs moves that ball up court quickly. Larry Johnson off the pass from Oakley. A fast break by the Knicks, and it was done beautifully. The New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit.
Knicks trailing by 1, 11-10. Ewing. And the Knicks for a 12-11 advantage. Prior to that bucket by Ewing, Larry Johnson and Allen Houston had accounted for the 10 points by the Knicks, and a foul, a hand check on Houston. So for Allen Houston, that is his second, and here comes John Starks. Houston leads with 6 points.
One of the advantages of John Starks this year, particularly coming off the bench, is that in Houston's attempt to play tough defense, he has gotten himself a couple of fouls early on several occasions, and that's opened the door for Starks to add what he has done so well on many occasions.
Johnson. And a loose ball foul on Oakley. Oakley trying to bat the ball away, made contact. John Starks provided a lift to the Knicks in the earlier game in San Jose. Knicks with a good run to finish off the Warriors. Patrick Ewing with a 33-point performance on 14 of 20 from the field. Illegal defense called for the first time against the Knicks.
Patrick Ewing instinctively went down into the area around the basket to help out Oakley should Smith get by him, where his man Spencer was above the foul line where Patrick had to be. Therefore, he became an illegal defender.
Mullin off the pick. Knicks looking very crisp, much sharper than we saw the other night against the Bullets. Larry Johnson with the rebound and pulled the foul.
Larry Johnson and 4 Warriors. And he got the good bounce. He drew the foul. Patrick Ewing getting a good look at the basket. Soft touch. Larry Johnson picks up the rebound, however. Draws the foul.
The Knicks to the line for the first time tonight. And Larry Johnson continues to have his problems at the free throw line. Active career leaders. Latrell Sprewell just under 40 minutes per game, followed by Michael Jordan and then Larry Johnson. And Sprewell, as I mentioned earlier, second in minutes played, just under 42 minutes per game thus far this season. 4.5 to go in the first quarter. Knicks lead by 1. Oh, what a move by Sprewell.
It's a killer matchup. He's 6'5", and he and Starks have a relationship that's very testy, similar to a Reggie Miller-Starks relationship.
Starks with his first shot attempt. Ewing again. So Ewing with his second field goal.
Patrick took over the backboards on that play.
He is now 2 of 6 from the field. Ewing has come out with the lively legs tonight. That is not always the case. Here's Starks, rebounded by Spencer. Mullen. Oh, nice move inside. Joe Smith. Joe Smith in his second season out of Maryland had the career-high 36-point game the other night against Toronto. Earlier in the year when the Knicks got a first look at the Warriors, as Ewing is able to hit. Joe Smith was bothered by a bad ankle and was not 100%.
And Joe is 6'10" with a lot of spring. Ewing, by the way, on that last shot, one of his tougher makes of late with a lot of defense on him.
Starks call for the foul. John Starks, a one-time member of the Golden State Warriors in his earlier professional years, where he was floating between the CBA and looking to make it in the NBA. Played for Don Nelson at Golden State. Mullen fouled. Larry Johnson flashing the elbow, and that led to the foul call, and Chris Mullen to the line. The Golden State Warriors are the best free throw shooting team in the league at 80%, and Mullen is one of the reasons. The game is tied at 16.
Yes, Mullen has been a tremendous foul shooter over the years. He's shooting at 86% from the line this year, which happens to be the number he has averaged now in his 12th season in the NBA. 86% from the line.
Warriors lead by 1. For the Knicks, it is game 3 of a 5-game homestand. They're home for Denver Saturday. Next Tuesday against the red-hot Utah Jazz. Here's Ewing, got the step. And Mullen goes behind the back to beat Ewing off the dribble. Sprewell looking for the shot that was close to a travel. Here's Price. Oh, good look from Mullen. And it's Golden State by 3.
Hard to believe Mullen could be as ignored as he was under the basket by the Knicks. One of the things the Knicks are working on tonight, and it's obvious early, is spacing, giving their offensive players a lot of room to move.
And Ewing again, hearing it from the crowd, now 3 of 8 from the field. Sprewell for 3. On fire, Latrell Sprewell, who, as I mentioned earlier, is putting up all-star numbers. Now has 12 points. He has hit 5 of 7 from the field, including 2 from downtown. 7-0 run by Golden State. The Knicks take a timeout.
Well, we'll take you back to November 7th when the Warriors and Knicks met in San Jose, and the relationship between Sprewell and Starks really burst loose. A lot of chatter going on between the two of them. And Sprewell was inspired. He hit a 3. He came down court and taunted John Starks. That resulted in a technical foul. Starks had his own answer, though. He was on fire in the second half, scoring 15 of his 17 points in that game. And tonight, Sprewell and Starks going at it again, although the verbal part hasn't started yet. Sprewell, with his size advantage, though, is posting up John Starks, looking to take advantage underneath the hoop.
And the Warriors this season are playing in San Jose, the Oakland Coliseum Arena, undergoing a 14-month renovation. It will be ready for the opener of the 97-98 season. Golden State has hit its last 3 shots, 7-0 run for the 22-16 lead. Buck Williams has checked in for the first time. He's replaced Patrick Ewing. Here is Starks. Well, John Starks able to shoot his way into it. Missed his first 3. And John hits a 3-pointer. 22-19 Warriors. Minute and a half left in the first quarter. Sprewell. Rebounded by Spencer. Well, Felton Spencer able to take advantage. He goes 7 feet, 265 pounds.
Oh, you know, that was a rare sight to see Buck Williams have his man get around him. And Buck is telling the referee how he was just pushed pretty hard. You don't see that happen to Buck Williams, no matter what the size of the opponent.
Starks. Wild shot saved by Oakley. Charles Oakley able to field that air ball and put it home to bring the Knicks within 3.
By staying in constant motion, Oakley really hurts the opponents.
Buck Williams switching off on Price, who was able to beat him off the dribble. Johnson with the rebound. Knicks have a 3-on-2. Rare fast break for the Knicks, and Buck Williams, who comes off a terrific all-around effort against the Bullets, has his first bucket.
They've had a couple of breaks now here in the first quarter, and Buck Williams now in year number 16, showing once again how well he can run.
Now, rare, John, is it to see a fast break not only by the Knicks, we were talking about that the other night, but just generally throughout the league. And that's one of the problems among many as to why the scores are down. Oakley. It counts, and the foul. Charles Oakley with the hesitation, and that took it to the hoop with 8 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Well, here's Charles Oakley punishing the opponent, as you'll see, but also making the shot. Many times he gets so distracted with that contact, he misses another look at it, powers his way in, and he bends people when he goes up for that shot. But Mark, this is the night to run, because Golden State, as we mentioned earlier, averages more points for their opponents than any team in the league, over 102 a game. So they allow a lot of opportunity to score with the way they play.
And there's a Scott Brooks sighting. Scott has not received much playing time recently. In fact, missed the earlier game against Golden State, that due to dehydration caused by a virus. Buck Williams sitting down, only 8 seconds to go in the quarter. Knicks by 1. Oakley trying to complete a 3-point play. And here's Price. Nice pass. Mullen able to score on the lead from Price. Final seconds. Childs with a 2-hander. Well, the Knicks did not handle that last Golden State fast break well, and the Warriors able to score. So after 1, it's Golden State by 1.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, to drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Well, the Golden State Warriors started the year at 3-8. Then they split their last 10 games. They've had highs and lows this year. Some of the good things are that they score almost 100 points a game. They're the best foul shooting team in the league. However, they allow more points than any team in the league. They're last in that category, and they also allow their opponents to shoot the ball very well at 48%. So Rick Adelman has a lot to think about. Golden State, however, led by Mark Price, a healthy Mark Price. What a difference he makes to an offense that wants to move up the court quickly, as Chris Mullin enjoyed that pass.
Charlie Ward has come on, replacing Chris Childs. Childs with 5 assists in the first quarter. Buck Williams, Larry Johnson, and Charles Oakley up front. Here's Johnson. Larry Johnson looking very offensive-minded in this first half. He now has 6 points. Donald Royal with the ball, just came in. as did B.J. Armstrong and Andrew DeClerc, second-year man from Florida. Armstrong off the mark.
The Knicks want Larry Johnson to be more selfish offensively. They feel he's looking to pass a little bit too much, and they go to him now down low.
Smith knocked the ball away, but the Knicks get it back off the errant pass by Donald Royal. Just underway in the second quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwig from the Garden. The Knicks 27, Golden State 26. Buck Williams stripped. Andrew DeClerc able to knock it away. He missed the earlier game against the Knicks with an ankle problem. 6'10", 230 pounds. He spent, and apparently a foul on DeClerc, spent most of last year on the injured list. Played over the final 22 games and played well. His strength is hustle and desire, and provided a spark. He's a guy who will be in the league, John, for 10 years. You heard it here first.
Are you doing a little agent work?
No,
Sorry?
no. Just my sources. Not 11, not 9, 10.
The Clark family getting through to you, I see.
Yes, they have.
Meanwhile, Buck Williams now, after that game the other night, drawing considerable praise, as he has all year, with Jeff Van Gundy saying by far Buck has been our most consistent player.
Illegal defense for the second time against the Knicks, so a technical foul. And there is Buck Williams, and look at the stats. The last two games against the Clippers: 12 points, 10 rebounds. Bullets, 10 points, 15 rebounds on Tuesday.
Buck has been shocked lately with some plays being called for him. He's used to just getting his points by rebounding and working hard on defense, but now he's drawing some focus as an offensive threat with his fine shooting as well.
The Knicks lead is 1. Armstrong played by Ward. Sprewell setting a screen, trying to help. DeClerc, Royal. Donald Royal called for the charge. Offensive foul. That's the strength of Royal, going to the hoop as a quick first step. Usually gets to the foul line, but the Knicks closing the middle, and it led to the charging foul. The Knicks lead 28-27. Shot clock at 6. Buck Williams, air ball. 24-second buzzer goes, but a foul was called. Foul on the Knicks. It's on Oakley. Foul before the 24-second violation, and that's 2 on Oakley. Now Joe Smith sitting down, and Bimbo Coles checks in. A small lineup on the floor for Rick Adelman. Sprewell now being guarded by Johnson. Sprewell playing at a forward position. Sprewell with the runner. Rebounded by Royal. Kept alive by Sprewell. This looks like a Don Nelson lineup when he was a coach at Golden State. Donald Royal for Bimbo Coles for 3.
Knicks did a good job of keeping that ball outside defensively.
Buck Williams on the offensive glass. John Starks now 1 of 6. Larry Johnson. Traveling violation. Basket will not count. And here's Patrick Ewing replacing Charles Oakley. Oakley leads with 4 points, 3 rebounds.
Larry Johnson called for the traveling violation here. And Larry very unhappy about that call as he finally got that shot up and in. Sprewell
and the tip. Andrew the Clerk with the tip, and the Warriors now lead by 1.
Nice soft fingertip followed by DeClerc.
Chris Mullen getting set to make his return. And Walter McCarty, the rookie from Kentucky, who played well on Saturday night against the Los Angeles Clippers, getting a shot here tonight. Larry Johnson will sit down. 6 points, 5 rebounds for Johnson. Sprewell departs. Latrell with 12 points on 5 of 10 from the field.
Jeff Van Gundy spreading out the opportunities to play now. Has been going with 9 men, sometimes 10 of late.
And Ewing had it knocked away. And again, here's a smattering of boos. Mullen. McCarty with the rebound. Here's Starks. And he'll head to the line. No, it's an offensive foul. A charge on Starks.
Very hard for John Starks to stop going. When he gets the ball on the run like this, he commits himself to that move. He was intent on getting to the basket, but was called for the foul.
3.5 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Armstrong for 3.
Armstrong, an excellent three-point shooter. The Knicks are fortunate he hasn't hit in that range yet. Give him any kind of space and he makes about half of them on the average.
Golden State now 2 of 8 from three-point range. Earlier this season, John, they had an 0 for 15 against Houston. That's a travel. John Starks having a very difficult time in this first half. How about 0 for 15 in early December? They matched an NBA record for most three-pointers attempted, none made.
And in the prior game, Marv, they were 1 for 12, so make it 1 for 27 over a 2-game period. Just in time for the holidays, MSG Network, in conjunction with Multimedia Sports and Orion Home Video, present Pinstripe Destiny, the story of the 1996 World Champions. You can call 1-800-225-2377. You can rush orders because they're available now for Christmas. $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Pinstripe Destiny.
Pushing foul on McCarty. 7:45 remaining in the first half here at Madison Square Garden, and Golden State with the ball up by 1. DeClerc. Patrick Ewing with his 9th rebound, but only 3 of 8 from the field. McCarty. Walter McCarty with a nice move over Chris Mullen. Knicks lead by 1.
Very polished move for the 6'10 McCarty.
And Mullen turns it over. What an opportunity for Walter McCarty, particularly with Jeff Van Gundy obviously down on John Wallace, who played very well in the early going, had a very strong preseason. But it's clear as Starks fires and hits from three-point range. The Knicks lead by 4. It is clear, although the Knicks will not acknowledge the fact that they have been upset with some tardiness on the part of Wallace. Mullen for 3. And the Knicks now lead by 1.
Wallace was a very important factor, positive factor for the Knicks' victory over Golden State in the first matchup.
Here is Ewing. Rebound Williams. DeClerc able to dive for it, got it to Royal. And Armstrong hit on the reach-in. Foul on Charlie Ward. Allen Houston returning, replacing John Starks. 6 points for Starks. John hit 2 of 7, both three-pointers. Here's Coles. Coles, who was out for a spell with a broken bone in his right wrist. One-time member of the Miami Heat. Long-time starting point guard for the Heat.
He got a lot of credit for the job he did on Stoudemire along with his teammates in Toronto as the Golden State Warriors beat Toronto in their last game. How about Walter McCarty from three-point range?
Walter McCarty feeling it. That's his second NBA three-pointer. Mullen. Oh, Ewing went down hard and a foul call. Mullen felt that he was fouled on that previous shot, and Mullen is called for the foul.
Mullen has beaten McCarty in response to McCarty's shots down court and gotten good looks at the basket. He felt he was bumped on that play, however, and didn't get the call.
The Knicks 36 and the Warriors 34. We're coming up on 5 minutes left in the first half. Ewing. Nice lead pass. Ewing has 8 points. The Knicks by 4.
Ewing had to work very hard to get position. He was aggressively played by DeClerc, and he got the ball just right from Charlie Ward.
Warriors now 14 of 36 shooting 40%. Knicks at 42%. Houston. Buck Williams again with the offensive rebound. McCarty. Oh, he wanted the ball. He had hit his first 2 shots. Mullen struck by Ward. The clock back. Ward around him. Yes, and a pass. Charlie Ward going right, and Andrew DeClerc.
Charlie Ward with a fine play here. Chris Mullen tried to dribble through him. It didn't work. Charlie took on the bigger DeClerc, made the basket. You don't see much reaction from Charlie when he does things like that, but his teammates love his low-key manner because they really react strongly when he's part of the good things that happen sometimes for Charlie.
7-0 run by the Knicks. The Knicks are only 1 of 5 at the foul line. They now lead by 6 points. 3-point play for Ward. 4.5 left in the first half. Mullen for 3.
That was Charlie Ward tipping that ball to his teammate.
They double up on McCarty. Houston for 3. Sprewell foul. Beautiful move by Sprewell. Had the hesitation dribble. And McCarty called for the foul. So Latrell Sprewell to the free throw line. And he has been getting to the foul line. 137 free throws made. Second in the NBA, trailing only Sean Kemp of the Sonics.
In the Golden State tradition of creating new names for individual players, Rick Adelman, his coach, defines him as a power shooting guard. And I would imagine trying to guard Latrell Sprewell, it's very easy for the opponents to understand that phrasing because he comes on strong at 6'5". He'll jump over you, drive by you, and explode to the air.
The Knicks 41 and the Warriors 35. They double up on Ewing. Ewing blocked from behind. What a play by Sprewell. Came over to help. 5 on the shot clock. Chris Childs replacing Charlie Ward. Both Ward and Childs have done a good job. 5 assists for Childs, 3 for Ward. Timeout taken with 3:33 left first half.
Knicks playing some solid defense here, only allowing 9 points thus far in the second quarter. They're getting a nice lift from Walter McCarty. Ewing with a little patience on the move. McCarty fakes the drive, goes to the 3-point shot. That's his second NBA 3. getting some good playing time now after that fine performance Saturday against the Clippers when he had a season-high 19 minutes.
Allen Houston attempting the three. Another offensive rebound by the Knicks. Knicks have done it off the boards. McCarty kept alive by Oakley, but the pass is stolen. Bimbo Coles splitting his way. Ewing with the rebound. Wanted to gun it down court. Smith with the steal. And Childs is hurt. Joe Smith with the steal and the bucket. Chris Childs is hurting.
Patrick Ewing grabbed that ball and kind of hesitatingly passed the ball to Childs, enabling Golden State to steal the ball, and out of that fracas comes a limping Chris Childs.
22nd timeout taken by the Knicks. Three minutes remaining in the first half, and the Knicks lead is now 4. Now they have changed to a full timeout. Chris Childs able to make it back off the fractured right leg, and comes up hobbling right here.
Many times, as we've seen, a player can shake it off. It looks like there's a lot of pain though for Childs. Ewing lets that ball slip out of his hand, and it goes right to the Warriors, who turn it into 2 points immediately. Joe Smith going in for that tough drive. Another look at it now. Patrick committing himself to the pass. Childs was played tough. Ball slips out of Ewing's hands. And Smith comes in with the left hand to finish the play. Not only does it cost 2 points, but now Childs is limping. With a look at it now. See, Childs goes down. Otherwise, he would have been in hot pursuit of that loose basketball, but he twisted that ankle. And that brings the Golden State Warriors now to within 4 of the Knicks.
And we'll pass on a report on Chris Childs as soon as we get it. For the Knicks tonight, it's game 3 of a 5-game homestand that continues on Saturday against the Denver Nuggets. The MCS Canada Knicks game night. We'll get it going at 7 o'clock. Mark Jackson, the starting point guard for the Denver Nuggets, although there have been some trade rumors of perhaps a Robert Pack, Mark Jackson deal. Pack going from the Nets to Denver. Mark Jackson among the leaders in assists. So Denver here on Saturday. The next Tuesday, Utah will be in to close out the homestand.
Denver has lost 8 straight, but they beat the Knicks here last year. They're on the road. They'll play Washington tomorrow night.
So the Warriors going with some pressure, and the Knicks now have 10 on the shot clock. Charlie Ward is back replacing Chris Childs. Open shot for Ward for 3. And back comes Sprewell with 2.5 to go in the first half. Coles for 3. And Warriors get a new 24. Bimbo Coles in trouble in the corner. Trap calls for a 20-second timeout. Rick Adelman in his second season as head coach of the Golden State Warriors. Last year, the first time he did not get to the playoffs as a head coach. He was 6 for 6 with Portland, including 2 trips to the finals, losing to Detroit in 1990 and then losing to Chicago in 92.
He inherited an unhappy team, though, after Don Nelson and Chris Webber had their problems, and Hardaway last year and Sprewell had their problems. And then they had the frustration of missing the playoffs last year by 1 game. Went to the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, 36 and 46 last year, next to last in the Pacific. Only the Clippers were worse, but they did improve the record by 10 games as a follow-up to that disastrous season that you mentioned. Bad pass by Sprewell. Johnson just checked back in.
No question, a much better effort by the Knicks of sharing that basketball and not rushing shots up.
Yes, the ball movement is as good as we have seen it this season. They came out with that intent. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Knicks lead is 4. Shot clock at 1. Ward had to force it, and he drew the foul. Foul committed by Coles. Those are fouls that drive coaches crazy. The team worked so hard on that defensive sequence. They had the 24-second clock down to 1, and Ward had to force it, and he's hacked by Coles.
Knicks right now sharing the basketball nicely, as you just stated, Mar, but the field goal percentage for the Knicks below 40% here for the first half. 37%.
So Charlie Ward has hit 3 of 3 at the line. 1:45 remaining in this first half. 6-point Knicks lead. Knicks getting balanced scoring. High point men, Ewing with 8, 6 apiece for Starks and Johnson. And Houston. Foul was on Houston. That is his 3rd. And Sprewell to the free throw line. John Starks checks back in.
Boy, there was no hesitation when Sprewell got that basketball. Immediately when he got it, he took off with his considerable speed.
Well, coming up on our Jeep and Eagle halftime report, it'll be Bob Page at the sports desk, and Alan Clyde will have a look back at the highlights of the first half. The Knicks lead by 4.
Knicks trying to get Ewing the ball as much as possible, and they do with a clear-out situation.
Illegal defense. That's the first time the Warriors have been called. So the Knicks get the new 24. Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley on the front line with Charlie Ward and John Starks in the backcourt.
Knicks forwards have done a real good job on Joe Smith here in the first half.
Larry Johnson with the rebound. Another offensive rebound for the Knicks. Johnson being smothered, trapped, and a foul is called.
Looks like Felton Spencer bent Oakley in half.
And that is 3 on Spencer. And Andrew DeClerc reporting to the scorer's table. He will come on as Charles Oakley will shoot a pair. He is 0 for 1 at the line. And we're told the report on Chris Childs, a mild ankle sprain, and it is expected that he will be back.
Knicks only went to the line against Washington the other night 9 times while making 7.
Knicks lead by 5, 44 to 39, with just under a minute remaining in this first half. The Knicks with 4 straight wins. They have won 5 of the last 6. They come in second in the Atlantic, 2.5 games behind the Miami Heat. The Knicks now lead by 6.
Knicks have already been to the line now for 10 foul shots here in the first half.
Knicks have hit 6 of 10 at the free throw line. Mullen. So Mullen with 13 points. Oakley tried to set up Johnson. Johnson had to save it. Ewing. And a foul is called. It is on to Clerk. That is his third. Patrick Ewing to the line for the first time. Ewing, a 74% free throw shooter.
Patrick comes into this game tonight as the NBA's 10th leading scorer, 22 a game, and the 9th leading rebounder, averaging 10.5 rebounds a game.
Had a very long night against the Bullets on Tuesday. 32 minutes, 7 of 21. He missed his first 8 shots. Turned it over 4 times. Tonight, 4 for 12, 9 points, but he does have 11 rebounds. And the Knicks now lead 46-41. Final seconds of the half. Sprewell for 3. Look out, Oakley went flying, but last touch by Coles. 0.8 of a second remaining. So Oakley fires it. Sprewell. That would have counted. So the Knicks missed their final 6 shots of the first half. Not able to hit a field goal the last 4.5 minutes. So halftime at the Garden. It's the Knicks 46 and the Warriors 41.
The halftime scoring summary is brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee, the perfect combination of luxury, safety, and ruggedness. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Well, the shooting play continues here tonight at the Garden. Both teams shooting in the 30s. The Knicks only have single-digit scorers. Patrick Ewing, 4 of 12 from the floor. He leads the way with 9. After that, Johnson, Starks, Houston, and Oakley, each with half a dozen. For the Golden State Warriors, it's mostly 2 men. Latrell Sprewell, 5 of 12. He's got a duel going with John Starks. Mullen's got 13. And we are joined now by one of the greatest 50 players in the history of the NBA, Walt Clyde Frazier. Clyde, I thought, as a salute to the era that's being saluted tonight, the 66 to 76 era, the Knicks came out passing, they came out running a little bit, and they came out doing the fundamental things like hitting the boards.
Well, that's true. They dominated the glass. Their defense was superb, forcing turnovers, and they were able to capitalize in transition.
One thing that did hurt the Knicks was that they didn't score a hoop in the last 4+ minutes. Meanwhile, the highlights will show you some of that, and they are brought to you by Jeep Wrangler, the original top-down fun in the sun on and off-road vehicle from Jeep. Chris Childs sprained an ankle. He's expected to come back, so Charlie Ward was in.
Yeah, Ward's stripping the ball here. He's from Florida State, the Kirk from Florida, and Ward beats him off the left side glass.
Clyde, you mentioned defense. The Knicks did that, and they also tried to run when they could.
Yeah, the Oak man always omnipresent, slapping it away. The key to this play, folks, was getting the ball in the middle of the court. Childs will find the Oakley, and then he will penetrate for the hoop.
Knicks out rebounding Golden State 33-21, and of course when you miss a lot of shots, there are a lot of rebounds.
Yeah, Ewing has 11 of those bounds. He huffs and misfires, undaunted, gets the rebound and puts it in.
So that's where we stand here at halftime at Madison Square Garden. You be good on the radio, Clyde, and we'll be back with Marv Albert and John Andres and the second half of Knicks basketball on MSG. You've been watching the Tri-State Jeep and Eagle halftime report on MSG. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. We turn it over to 2 men who were born minutes apart, actually in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Marv?
Thank you, Al. Actually, many years apart, it should be pointed out. The Knicks in the first half shooting 35%, only 17 of 48, despite the good ball movement, not shooting well. While the Warriors at 38% on 16 of 42. Free throws, 7 of 12 for the Knicks, 6 of 7 for the Warriors, and the Knicks with the domination off the boards, particularly, John, off the offensive glass to the tune of 15-6 in that first half.
The rebounding numbers get big when you don't shoot the ball well, which is what happened the other night against Washington when the Knicks had a season-high 56 rebounds. Chris Childs back on the court after shaking off that ankle injury. good sign for the Knicks to have Childs back. Sometimes those rebounding numbers are deceptive, because when you are not shooting the ball well, there's a lot of opportunities for rebounds, and that 33 is a big number for a half.
Well, Allen Houston opening up the third quarter with a 3. The Knicks without a field goal the final 4.5 minutes of the second quarter. They had missed their last 6 shot attempts. The Knicks now lead 49-41. And off the trap, a foul on Ewing. That is the first on Ewing, who played 20 minutes in the first half. 4 of 12 from the field, 9 points, 11 rebounds. Biggest lead of the game for the Knicks. Sprewell and Price able to take advantage of the mix-up between Oakley and Ewing. Here's Smith. Joe Smith has been quiet.
How about Mark Price, 0 for 4 from the field in the first half.
Allen Houston's pass picked off. Nice touch pass from Mullen, and Smith is fouled. No, apparently offensive foul. It is on Felton Spencer.
Spencer setting a moving pick, actually, is what he did. He just kept moving as the Knick player tried to get close to the defense, to the offensive player.
That is 4 on Spencer, who is replaced. Todd Fuller making his first appearance of the night. Rookie from North Carolina State, who played well in that earlier game against the Knicks. Houston could handle the pass.
Just thinking, Marv, when have we seen a moving pick called? I don't remember.
Well, Felton Spencer had a call, and it was his 4th foul. So he was replaced by Todd Fuller. Fuller with Smith and Mullen up front. Sprewell and Price in the backcourt. Sprewell on a crossover. Rejected by Ewing, but it will count. It's a goaltend. The Knick lead is now 6. And Chris Mullen gets credit, so he has 15 points. The Knicks open up the second half with Childs and Houston in the backcourt. Ewing, Oakley, Johnson up front. Open shot for Ewing. 11 for Ewing.
A very astute producer, Frank DeGrace, reminds me, Marv, that in 1994, Game 3 against Houston here at the Garden, that's Mark Price breaks the ice with a 3-point shot, something he's very good at. But there was a moving pick called in that game.
Did you say astute producer?
How did he remember that?
You said astute.
I did, yes.
I said.
Is that okay?
51-46. The Knicks with the lead, and the rejection by Fuller. That may be the nicest thing you've ever said about anyone.
I see. I thought it was an English correction coming up.
You're very defensive now. In other words, you felt you made a mistake.
I work with you.
Joe Smith on the box out.
How did a man remember a moving pick from 2 years ago? I'm concerned.
And a foul on Oakley. That is his 3rd. We are early 3rd quarter. The Knicks 51 and the Warriors 46. Mullen. That was a 3-point attempt.
Charles Oakley always ready to give that ball up. He could have pushed up a jump shot. Now he's taking Chris Mullen for a ride down low.
Childs. And another offensive rebound by the Knicks. Ewing. And Ewing missed the tip. Now Ewing with Price on him, and Price stripped him. And Patrick Ewing is hearing the boos. Comes back with a blocked shot on Fuller.
And he hears the cheers.
Offensive foul. Oakley and driving the lane trying to set up Patrick Ewing was called for the foul. That is his fourth. And Buck Williams will come on.
Well, a moment ago Ewing heard the boos, and at the other end a second later he heard the cheers on this nice block. Looked like Todd Fuller had a 2-point thing going there until he was stopped cold.
Second block for Ewing. Mark Price setting up against Chris Childs. And another foul is called. Price blocked on the play. Foul on Buck Williams. Golden State Warriors come in at 8-13. They won their last two over San Antonio and Toronto. They had dropped their previous two games. They wallop the Raptors Tuesday night, led by Joe Smith. Sprewell. Joe Smith, though, on the quiet side tonight after the career-high 36-point game. 17 rebounds. Knicks have missed their last 5 shots. Larry Johnson ending that streak. Johnson has 8 points, and the Knicks lead 53-46. Fuller. Well, that time affected by the presence of Ewing, but the Knicks give it right back.
Childs with the long pass intended for Larry Johnson. Jeff Van Gundy remains encouraging to his team as they're looking to run as much as they can tonight.
Mullen. And Ted Bernhardt with the foul call. It is on Allen Houston. So that's 4 on Houston. One of the problems Allen Houston has had here in the early portion of the season, 20 games in, is the foul trouble. He'll have to sit down as John Starks checks back in. But first, a timeout taken by the Warriors. 7:16 remaining. Third quarter.
Well, the homestand continues for the Knicks, who look forward to their Saturday night matchup with Denver. Our Delta Airlines upcoming schedule shows you that the MCS Canada Knicks game night will begin at 7 o'clock. Same thing Tuesday against the more than red-hot Utah Jazz. And then Wednesday, the Knicks hit the road again. They'll go to Detroit and see what's going on out there against the surprising Detroit Pistons.
The Knicks with a 7-point lead. 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Mark Price. 3-pointer for Price. Warriors had missed their previous 5 shots, and the Knicks lead is now 4. Knicks have led by as many as 8 points, have not been able to pull away. Larry Johnson passing on the 3. Ewing played by the rookie Todd Fuller. Oh, Buck Williams able to get to the rebound.
What a vicious rebound. Buck Williams just pulled down.
Childs for 3. Chris Childs' first field goal. But he's done a nice job in handling the ball and running the team. 8 assists for Childs. Knicks now lead by 7. Here's Smith. Childs for Johnson. Well, the Knicks able to take advantage on the transition, something we rarely see.
They're looking to push that ball and getting the kind of hoops they want to get more and more of, the so-called easy baskets.
Childs searching the floor as he crossed midcourt and sets up Johnson. That will lead to a timeout. Rick Adelman wants to talk it over. So the Knicks extend to an 11-point lead. We'll be right back.
Well, for a team that's been seeking strong leadership in the backcourt, the Knicks are certainly seeing it here over the last couple of minutes. From number 1, Chris Childs. Nice pass from Ewing. Childs hits the 3. Moments later, Childs pushes that ball ahead up court, and the Knicks get 2 points under the basket. That was Larry Johnson. A moment later, Childs again breaks down the defense and picks out Larry Johnson again, who gets another 2 points.
And that tells the story. 11-0. The Knicks with the advantage in fast break points. Starks pushing it down. And Ewing can't handle the pass. The Knicks lead is 11. They have a 7-0 run going. 19 offensive rebounds for the Knicks. Many positive numbers with 5:20 to go in this third quarter. Todd Fuller was looking for some pressure and then lost it. He coughed it up. Here's Childs.
These are very big moments for Chris Childs. He has taken over.
And he's come back strong, suffering that mild ankle sprain in the second quarter. 9-0 run by the Knicks. Smith blocked by Ewing. Starks for 3.
Knicks have doubled the numbers in rebounding, 46 to 23.
Blocking foul committed by Childs.
Todd Fuller going up for that shot. Ball's deflected nicely by Ewing. Johnson to Childs, looks to give it up, decides to keep it and go all the way to finish the play. And Patrick Ewing with a defensive presence, sending that shot away, igniting a break for the Knicks.
Some very impressive numbers for Ewing. 17 rebounds, 4 blocked shots. Still not shooting well at 5 of 17 from the field. The Knicks now lead 62-51. Andrew DeClerc back on the floor, up front now with Joe Smith, Chris Mullin. Buck Williams. Pretty pass from Chris Childs.
Childs is dominating. He's doing whatever he wants. He's penetrating and either taking the shot or giving the ball up.
Childs has 11 assists, 5 in the first half, 6 this quarter. Joe Smith showing his range. The Knicks now lead 64-53.
The Knicks' improved defense over the last couple of games is really manifesting itself on Joe Smith. He's been a quiet contributor.
Ewing. Buck Williams. So Buck has 7 points along with 9 rebounds, headed to another double-double. 66-53 with 3.5 left third quarter. It will count and the foul. Andrew DeClerc will go to the line.
Boy, he came through the lane strong, and Mark Price picked him out. Nicely done between those two. Jeff Van Gundy with a little message to Buck Williams. Price driving the lane hard, picks up DeClerc, who comes in strong and finishes nicely. Goes to the line after being fouled.
The Knicks with a 66-55 lead. Golden State, a team that has been involved in a number of blowouts both ways. They've been on both ends. 7 of their 21 games decided by 18 points or more. One of those games, they were beaten by Phoenix, 118-87. Here's Mullin getting inside. And yet another rebound for Ewing. He now has 19. Here's Childs. Buck Williams. The Knicks lead by 13, and a 20-second timeout called by Rick Adelman.
Total domination on the boards by the happy Knicks. Ewing has tied his season high with 19 rebounds. He had 19 against the Clippers earlier. Inside, Childs going up for the shot. Buck Williams beating the Golden State Warriors all by himself. Giles with the soft jumper. Buck very aggressive. One of the many compliments Jeff Van Gundy was throwing in the direction of Buck Williams, not only being the most consistent player thus far, but he loves the way he keeps right to his own style of play. He doesn't try and extend into being something he isn't. Defense, rebounding, low post scoring is what he does, and that's all he thinks about doing.
Well, I think that the Knicks are surprised by the offensive output of Buck Williams. They did not expect this much. They wanted a lift. They wanted a good guy in the locker room. There's a steal by Starks. And the Knicks now lead 70-55. Buck Williams with 7 offensive rebounds. The Knicks for the season high. They have 21 offensive rebounds. And they've opened up a 15-point lead. Spencer. Loose ball foul. It is on Smith.
Well, John Starks adding his spice to the game. Ran right into that passing lane in one dribble, enjoyed a stuff, and John has come up smiling now in the last minute.
Donald Royal and Bimbo Coles come on for Mark Price and Chris Mullen. Mullen only 6 of 14. He has 15 points. Coming up on 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Ewing again.
Mullen comes in tonight shooting 57% for the season. His career number is 51. He's never shot as high as 57. He's really doing a good job, but tonight he didn't bring that kind of touch.
Warriors with their 10th turnover. Ewing battling for possession against Spencer.
Knicks have been focusing more and more tonight on starting their offense inside and then coming out. They feel lately they've been doing too much outside in offensive play.
Chris Childs all over the floor and finishes it off by hitting the shot. First he was able to elude 2 defenders. Then the pass went off the foot of Starks. He was able to recover, and it concludes with a jump shot by Childs. 1:05 left, third quarter. Knicks have a 19-point lead. Sprewell's shot blocked by Johnson. Recovered by Coles. Smith. Joe Smith did well to get that shot out off and hit.
Yes, his wiry frame eluded Ewing.
The Knicks 74 and the Warriors 57. Here's Starks. 10 points for Starks, and the Knicks lead by 20. Third quarter winding down. Smith. The Knicks 77, Warriors 59. Smith has 12 points. Now to 25 seconds to go in this third quarter.
It has been a 30-point third quarter for the Knicks. A quarter in which the Knicks have not done that well for many times, many games this season.
Six on the shot clock. 14 seconds to go in the quarter. Johnson for 3. So it will be Golden State ball with 7 seconds left. Third quarter. Bimbo Coles gets it off in time. So the Knicks with an explosive third quarter. And after 3, lead it 76-59. The Knicks outscored the Warriors 30-18 in the third quarter to take the big lead. But right here, a look at our Co-Classic play. We flash back to the championship Knicks season of 72-73, one of the most memorable games in NBA history. The Knicks with 19 straight points. Earl the Pearl Monroe with a key jump shot. 19 straight to come from behind and beat the Bucks. Bucks had a shot right here. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar off the mark on that attempt at the buzzer. And this turns out to be a signature game in the history of the New York Knicks. They beat Milwaukee 87-86 November of 72 and went on to win the championship by beating the Los Angeles Lakers for their second NBA title. So this fourth quarter is underway. The Knicks are up 76-59.
At halftime tonight, those memories came back vividly as Clyde and Earl and Dave DeBusschere, among others, were honored at halftime.
All part of the 50-year celebration, the anniversary of the NBA. Seven of 22 shooting for Golden State in the third. The Knicks 14 of 26. A host of those Knicks from the 70s here tonight. Larry Johnson getting inside. Hall of Fame coach Red Holzman. Dave DeBusschere on hand, as you mentioned. Earl Monroe, Walt Frazier, along with Dean manager Mel Davis, trainer Danny Whalen. 78-59, the Knicks with the lead. Bimbo Cole's able to keep it alive. Oh, Sprewell had Williams committed, and Buck called for the foul. So that is 3 on Buck Williams. Latrell Sprewell to the free throw line. They've actually kept him off the line. This is only his 5th and 6th free throws for the night. He did not score in the third quarter, had 15 at the half.
Leading scorer for the Golden State Warriors. 3 straight years coming into this season. Now it's only his 5th season.
Larry Johnson, hearing the applause, sits down with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Played well. Knicks now have a front line of Charles Oakley, Buck Williams, and 3 guards: Allen Houston, Charlie Ward, John Starks. Shot clock at 6. Starks for 3. John Starks with his 3rd three-pointer, and he has 13 points. Knicks open up a 20-point margin.
Felton Spencer looking to execute a pick and roll play. Can't get Coles to play with him.
Nice save by Ward. Houston for 3. Allen Houston has not shot well. 3 of 10 from the field. Whoa, look out. Starks with the submarine foul. And 22nd timeout is taken. Chris Mullin and B.J. Armstrong check back in.
Knicks on the move a moment ago. John Starks assuming there's a 3-point make going on. John's playing a little jolly. Then he comes back here on defense. Goes down low. That didn't make Sprewell happy. John readily admits the foul. But if you're an offensive player, you get the feeling the guy's trying to submarine you, as a defensive end might try and do on the football field.
Very impressive work on the boards by the Knicks. They have out-rebounded the Warriors 55-27. And they've done it on the offensive glass. Season high 23 offensive rebounds. Donald Royal.
He cannot get around Oakley.
Dimbo Coles came up short. Here's Ward. Buck Williams. Buck Williams going at Ray Owes, who checked in a moment ago, a rookie from Arizona, played in Australia last season, and Owes called for the foul. There is Ray, 6'9", 224 pounds, signed as a free agent. Played well earlier in the season. Got some playing time. Starks for three. John just firing away from all angles. 5 of 13 shooting. This is Owes. Owes on the rebound and stripped. So the Warriors will put it in play. Tomorrow the Golden State Warriors play the Cavaliers in Cleveland. Then Sunday they are back home for the Bullets. Basket won't count. Foul before the shot on Ward.
How about Cleveland getting surprised by the Washington Bullets after the way the Bullets limped out of here the other night? You couldn't imagine that happening against Cleveland. Was Mike Fratello at the game, do you think, Marv?
I know he always watches these tapes very carefully with a very keen eye for your comments. A block by Ward, as he is watching tonight in scouting Golden State.
In other words, Mike had a bad night, huh? Not his team, Mike. He's entitled.
Shot clock at 4. Buck Williams. Four minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Armstrong.
With that small lineup of Golden State out there, Charles Oakley looks like a 7-footer around the boards now.
That shot waved off. 3-second violation on Buck Williams. The Knicks gunning for their 5th straight win, looking to make it 6 of the last 7. Patrick Ewing getting set to check back in. And replaces Charles Oakley, who leads with 6 points, 9 rebounds. Ewing with 13 points, has not shot well at 6 of 20, but some enormous numbers. 20 rebounds, 4 blocked shots. Now Ewing is told to wait for the next dead ball. The substitution not allowed. Oakley remains on the floor. Ewing will check in a moment. Owes. And Oakley is fouled by Mullen. And they have some words. Charles Oakley took exception to that foul by Chris Mullen. Now Larry Johnson is back. Buck Williams sits down, as does John Starks. Apparently Jeff Van Gundy changed his mind and leaves Oakley on the floor as Ewing comes on. The Knicks 81 and Golden State 61. Knicks breaking it open in the third quarter, outscoring the Warriors 30-18. Houston. Allen Houston with an open shot. 11 points for Houston.
Allen came off that pick nicely and got the ball at just the right time.
Armstrong for 3. And B.J. Armstrong, after missing his first 5 shots, finally hits.
Amazing. Armstrong has averaged 45% three-point range throughout his career.
Knicks 83-64 over the Warriors. Houston for three. Coles with the open shot.
You know what's unbelievable tonight is how many players on both teams are missing open shots without a hand in the face.
Well, they try to run the pick and roll, and the pass could not be handled. The ball will go back to New York, but first a timeout. 6:10 left in the fourth, and the Knicks with the commanding lead.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, to drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Well, we have a little camera here, Mar, with a mind of its own. Just observing the action on the court, moving around. It's a remote camera operated by an MSG technician, and it doesn't go for head fakes.
Oakley not able to hit. Just under 6 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Donyell Marshall, who has been a major disappointment, is on the floor for the first time for the Warriors. Ewing able to slap it away, and here comes Oakley. Charlie Ward for Allen Houston. Yes, it has been a solid all-around game for the New York Knicks. 4 Knicks double-figure rebounds. That's a very impressive number, led by Ewing, who has 20. Here's Houston, and the Knicks getting balanced scoring. Houston with 15. Johnson has 14. 13 apiece for Starks and Ewing. The Knicks are up 87-64. This is Marshall over Johnson. Donyell Marshall, third season out of Connecticut, originally a #1 draft pick of Minnesota, the 4th selection overall. And by midseason 3 years ago, he was traded to Golden State in that deal involving Tom Gugliotta, who has emerged as an all-star caliber player. He is off to a terrific start with the Timberwolves. It will count, and the foul.
What a shot by Coles. He was going away from the basket, and he made a very tricky shot. Well, we are now seeing the first fast break basket for Golden State of the evening. Knicks have 17 points on fast breaks tonight. I remember when Marshall came into the league talking to Minnesota coaching staff, and they were very disappointed with his feel for the game, particularly at the defensive end. Boy, they gave him a big contract based on his college career and fine play.
Yes, he was the Big East Player of the Year in 1993 and in '94. Donyell Marshall, who does not get much playing time these days. Marshall with the spin, and fouled. He was blocked. McCarty picks up his third. Walter McCarty getting the playing time tonight. 6 minutes in the first half, and hit 2 of 4, 5 points. John Wallace, the rookie from Syracuse, the fellow rookie, has not played at all tonight. And we're now talking garbage time. We're closing in on that particular segment.
I think Jeff Van Gundy is sending him a message because everybody knows, the Golden State Warriors know, how John Wallace has played this season when he's gotten time. He's played some fine moments. He's had some lapses defensively as a rookie, as many will. But there's a message from Jeff Van Gundy to John Wallace, undoubtedly revolving around discipline and adhering to the team rules.
Yeah, obviously there are other things going on. O's able to get to that rebound with 3.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Fuller call for steps. Todd Fuller, first-round draft pick out of North Carolina State.
He tried to Oakley.
Yes.
By backing in and punishing the defender, but Oakley reached around and caused that violation.
Knicks getting very strong production out of the point guard position with a combination of Chris Childs and Charlie Ward. Childs with 12 assists helped to break it open in the third quarter. And Ward has done a good job. 5 assists, 5 points. Knicks take a timeout. 3:04 left in the fourth. The Knicks lead by 17.
The Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield holiday celebrations will hold the annual toy drive this Saturday when the Knicks take on the Denver Nuggets. Fans are invited to show holiday spirit and bring in toys for New York's less fortunate citizens.
Allen Houston from downtown. That's his fourth three-pointer. The Knicks 90 and Golden State 70 with just under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. McCarty. Well, the baby hooked by McCarty. And it looks like John Wallace will get some playing time. Headed to the scorer's table. Fuller gives it right back to Armstrong. O's. Well, Ray O's with his first field goal. Knicks 90 and the Warriors 72. Larry Johnson posting up on Ray O's. They collapse on him. Allows the three-point attempt by Ward.
Knicks are certainly enjoying good looks at the basket tonight, as the intensity just isn't there from Golden State on the defensive end.
And a foul against the Knicks. It is called on Oakley, his fifth. Here comes John Wallace, along with Scott Brooks. Larry Johnson, Allen Houston sit down. 14 points, 10 rebounds for Johnson, and Houston finished with 18. For Larry Johnson, a season high of 10 rebounds. Ray O's at the line.
Well, these are very important games as far as the Knicks trying to generate their cohesion on the offensive end, continue their dominance defensively, and rebounding where they have been enjoying dominance most of the season, and piling up some wins to get their confidence level at a high rate for next week when things get tougher with the Utah Jazz here on Tuesday and the Detroit Pistons twice next week.
And that is number 6 on Oakley. So Charles is fouled out and lingers to discuss it with the official Ted Bernhardt. It looks to be a friendly discussion, although Ted has had enough and would like Charles to depart. Oakley a bit slow in moving away from the official, and sit with a delay of game. That's the warning. The next one is a technical foul. So Buck Williams back with Oakley departing. 1:25 left in the game. Oh, looked like a water bottle was tossed. It was tossed by Oakley out of the court, and a technical foul now has been called.
That was a hook shot of the water bottle by Charles as he disdainfully left the floor.
Apparently a talcum powder. The bottle was thrown, to be precise, as Armstrong hits the technical.
Interesting that Charles, with a 16-point lead when he left the court, was so disturbed by that last call that fouled him out.
You mentioned the Utah Jazz. The Knicks opponent next Tuesday. They have won 15 straight, a record of 17-2. They're a half game behind the 18-2 Houston Rockets in the Midwest Division. And the Pistons at 16-3, and they have won 5 in a row. What a job by Doug Collins.
And
Knicks now lead 90-77.
And the rejuvenated Joe Dumars, who last year reportedly was considering making last season his final one. Said he didn't work as hard in the offseason as he has done in the past, so his legs are sharp.
John Wallace not able to handle that pass. 1 minute remaining in the game. The Knicks on their way to 5 straight wins, 6 of their last 7. And a foul call. Foul on McCarty. That is number 4.
One of the nice trends with this game for Jeff Van Gundy and his coaching staff is that the Knicks got off to a start and really sustained their dominance throughout this game without let up, as they did the other night in that game against the Washington Bullets. So they flexed their muscles and they maintained the pace throughout this game.
Point Knick lead. The most significance, 4 double-figure rebounders for the Knicks. The last time that occurred was February of '93 in a triple overtime game at Orlando. Oakley, Ewing, Mason, and Herb Williams all in double figures in that game. Tonight, Ewing with 20, Oakley and Buck Williams with 11, and Johnson with 10. Danielle Marshall. And the Knick lead is now 11 with 15 seconds to go.
Quite a beauty by Marshall. One-handed fadeaway.
And the Knicks hearing the applause from the crowd as Charlie Ward works the clock down. So for the Knicks, a strong performance in defeating the Golden State Warriors by the score of 90-79. And the Knicks go to a record of 14-6. 5 straight wins, 6 of the last 7. And they're looking to a home game on Saturday against Denver. We'll be back to recap in a moment. Again, the final, Knicks 90, Warriors 79.
If the NBA was a factory, they might stop the assembly line for a moment and send in a quality control team. The Knicks beat the Warriors tonight. A little frayed around the edges, a little sloppy, but the Knicks were the better team from the very beginning. Chris Childs running a high-spirited offense as the Knicks looked for the open man throughout this game. Very active with his eyes, very active with the dribble, very active off the dribble. John Starks and even he have to save this one, and it winds up being a long-range shot for Childs, who scores 7 but adds 12 assists. That's what you call quarterbacking a team. Here he lets go with a jump shot. Here's the Knick commitment to the rebounding in this game. Buck Williams never giving up, and he contributes off the boards for 11 rebounds, 9 points. Larry Johnson very solid offensively, 7 of 13 and 10 rebounds himself. Knick defense tonight very, very busy and forcing turnovers. The Golden State Warriors just really didn't appear to be very competitive once they lost a lead they built up in the first half. Lots to come in our post-game coverage, but first we send you downstairs for an update at the MSG Sports Desk. Back at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks beat the Golden State Warriors 90-79. They owned the boards, and they also looked pretty good on offense. An offense that was run by Chris Childs, who also contributed from three-point range there. He shot 3 of 7, got 7 points, 12 assists in only 24 minutes. Here he had one for Buck Williams, as Larry Johnson rather. He was very generous with his passing tonight, and he is the Marriott Marquee Player of the Game with the numbers there you see on the screen. And appropriately, he joins us here at courtside at Madison Square Garden. Chris, I don't know if it's the best offensive game, but where I think this team wants to be offensively in terms of looking for each other and creating as many options, not just going low post maybe to Patrick Ewing all the time, this was one of the better ones we've seen.
I think as far as being real unselfish and letting the ball do the work. Everybody was getting touches on every possession, and that's what you need, because if you get the ball to Patrick every time down the court, then teams are going to key on him, and the offense is not going to run as smoothly. So we try to change the way we're approaching each game and let everybody touch the ball and move it and just play off one another.
There were also some very significant passing sequence, quick look when the ball didn't touch the floor. Is that the result of anything you guys are doing in practice, or just time together? Well,
just time together and feeling comfortable. You got to let the ball do the work. When you sit up there and just let one guy try to make things happen out there, then that's when the defense is at its best, and the key is on that individual player. So in order for us to be the type of team we want to be, we have to have ball movement, player movement, and get up and down the court.
Now, when you look at your numbers and your minutes and you see how many Knicks you got involved in the offense, you have to be proud. But the first number you pointed to on the stat sheet as we looked at it together were the turnovers at 21.
That's too many turnovers, because I think in each game, the way we want to play, we want to get at least 100 attempts. And if we cut those turnovers in half and get around 14, 15, that's a good number for us, and we can get the extra attempts, and our field goal percentage will go up.
Scary moment for you in the second quarter. You get tangled up in the backcourt when Patrick gets stuck on the ball, and then as we'll take a look at it here, you just get sort of caught in a weird way and went down in a lot of pain, and it looked as though you really hurt yourself.
Well, I got tangled up with him, and it was the same leg. I think me being conscious of that leg and me getting hit, as soon as I got hit, I kind of pulled off of it, and I think that helped. But I just go out and play as hard as I can. If I get hurt, I get hurt.
So you were thinking about that leg that they had the fracture in?
Once I hit it, yeah. I thought about it, but went in there and he looked at it, got taped back up, and came back in and went to war.
Those doctors and trainers know what they're doing. Right now, Golden State, they looked really flat. They didn't shoot the ball well, and this is sort of a plague and an epidemic going through the NBA. Is there any plausible reason that you can add to why teams in the NBA are shooting numbers that are so low?
I'm not sure what it is. I think more teams are playing good defense. I think every team in the league is playing better defense. The field goal percentage is down, and you have to credit the opposing team. But it's early season, and anything can happen. I think teams will start getting up and down the court more and getting as many easy baskets as they can, because it's difficult to score in this league in half-court offense.
All right, you've won 5 games in a row now, and what Knicks teams have done in recent years, heading up to games that they really want to win, they've had this knack of building up their confidence with winning streaks. And Tuesday night you got Utah. After that you've got Detroit. Are those focus games at all for you guys, or not?
Well, we have a game Saturday, and we just want to continue to protect our turf. We haven't had the type of home court advantage that we would want during the season, but that'll come. We got Denver coming in, who has been playing particularly well, and we want to keep it that way.
Right. Hey, Chris, thanks a lot for your time, man. It's fun to watch the offense revolve.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And evolve. Let's go back to Marv Albert to close out our game coverage, and then we'll have our post-game report in a matter of minutes.
Thank you, Al. Well, the fluid play of the Knicks began right at the start. Good passing throughout, led by the combination of Chris Childs and Charlie Ward. The end result, a New York Knicks victory over the Golden State Warriors by the count of 90-79. So the Knicks go to 14-6. They'll face the Denver Nuggets Saturday night here at Madison Square Garden. MCS Canada Knicks game night will get things rolling at 7 o'clock. The Knicks and Denver. On Saturday, the Knicks post-game report is coming up in a moment. Al will return with that. Closed captioning has been brought to you by Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the best of health. So the Knicks make it 5 straight wins. They have won 6 of their last 7 games. For John Andres, this is Marv Albert saying good night from Madison Square Garden in New York. Stay tuned for the post-game.